Bring you this wild story. Take a look here as former U.S. Senator Kirsten Sinema accused of being a homewrecker, pushing her ex-bodyguard to take Molly in a bonkers lawsuit. That is what the New York Post is saying right there. But the former Arizona Senator Sinema is facing a civil lawsuit in North Carolina from a woman who alleges the former lawmaker interfered in her 14-year marriage. It's effectively known as a homewrecker law, and North Carolina is just one of 7 states with laws on the books. Now, let's continue to talk all about this wild story. Bringing in our next guest to help break all of that down. This is Cameron Arand with the Daily Mail. Thanks so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm with
Daily Wire.
The Daily Wire.
Yes.
Over there. Thank you so much. I mean, this is really the wildest story I've really seen in a while. I mean, this lawsuit, it's a pretty rarely used law in North Carolina. There's not too many successes with this type of law being used, but it's pretty straightforward. The basic details of it. She's alleging that there was an affair between Sinema and the former security guard that she had, and then also hired this individual as a defense and national security fellow while also having him as her personal guard as well. So we're seeing both official staff and unofficial staff used in that regard as well. And so really just as you read through this, there was a lot of things that were flagged over time, a lot of travel together in these allegations laid out here. So really just a fascinating story.
No, yeah, it really is. And when you take a look at this complaint in its whole, I think one of the major parts that a lot of people are looking at is the allegation that Sinema wanted to help the guy out using Molly.
Yes, so that was something that was actually reported on by the Phoenix New Times last year. There was a profile regarding Sinema and this individual around the use of psychedelics and why Sinema was backing psychedelic research at the time. It says in the lawsuit that this guy's who does suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, and Sinema was encouraging to use MDMA as part of this, and that was outlined in this lawsuit. And I think another thing that was so fascinating about this was, the messages that were sent allegedly in this process as well, and just this mix between the man saying them saying that he stopped wearing his wedding ring at some point over the possible public optics of this, given that they were at so many events together as well. So we're also seeing really the story here from a public interest standpoint is both the fact that he was working in her office and also the fact that we saw this covered last year before we knew the details about this specifically when it came to that specific point about psychedelic drugs.
And Cameron, I thought one of the other big moments here in this lawsuit, as you're reading it out there, where the wife had suspicions that this was going on and even uncovered a message from Sinema to the man. And then she replies back saying, "Are you with my husband?" And he's a married man.
Yeah, so it definitely seems like, at least based on the lawsuit, that the senator was aware of this. This is what the plaintiff is alleging in this case. And I think what's also something important to note here is that the lawsuit also says that the messages were, romantic in nature, and that Sinema was perhaps encouraging the separation to possibly happen. And so I think what we're really going to see here in the coming weeks, this case was filed back in September, but it will be curious to see if there are possible ethics questions raised with this, because the lawsuit also claims that her head of security left the job in fall of 2023 over the fact that there were concerns about Sinema having inappropriate relationships with her security staff before this even became a situation. So there could be other things that went on here before he was even involved with her allegedly.